Urgent. Buffalo Bills announced terrible news for everyone. A brutal injury has been confirmed. Leave your like, subscribe, share, and let's go. The Buffalo Bills walked out of Charlotte on Sunday with an emphatic 40-9 victory over the Carolina Panthers, a performance that showed flashes of the team's dominant potential on both sides of the ball. Quarterback Josh Allen was in complete command, the offense clicked early, and the defense stifled Carolina's limited attack. However, despite the lopsided win, Buffalo didn't escape unharmed. The team suffered yet another blow on the defensive front, one that could have serious long-term implications for their playoff hopes. Late in the second half, star defensive tackle Ed Oliver went down clutching his arm after engaging in a block on a run play. He was quickly attended to by trainers, visited the medical tent, and soon after was escorted to the locker room. Within minutes, the team officially ruled him out for the remainder of the game with a bicep injury, an ominous sign that the issue might be significant. Early evaluations suggest Oliver could be forced to miss extended time, adding to what has already been an exhausting stretch of injuries for the Bills' defensive line. Heading into Week 8, Buffalo was already paper-thin at defensive tackle, having been without Daquan Jones and T.J. Sanders. The situation now looks even more dire. Oliver has been one of the team's most consistent and disruptive interior defenders, anchoring a unit that has struggled to maintain continuity due to constant lineup shuffling. His absence leaves a massive void in both production and leadership, especially considering that 2024 third-round pick Dwayne Carter is also gone for the year after suffering a torn Achilles in training camp. As of now, the only fully healthy defensive tackles on the active roster are rookie Deone Walker and veteran Larry Ogunjobi, who just made his return from suspension. Walker, though talented and full of upside, is still learning the pace and technique of the NFL game. Ogunjobi provides experience and toughness, but conditioning remains a concern after his time away from the field. Meanwhile, Daquan Jones hasn't practiced for weeks due to a calf injury and remains questionable for the next matchup. T.J. Sanders, currently on injured reserve, cannot return for at least 2 more games. That means the Bills could be forced to rely on practice squad reinforcements, a scenario far from ideal as the team continues its push in a highly competitive AFC. The most obvious candidates for promotion are Zion Logue and Jordan Phillips, both of whom have rotated in and out of the lineup earlier this season. Each player has already used up the maximum number of practice squad elevations allowed by the league, meaning the Bills would have to sign them to the 53-man roster if they want to use them again. Buffalo's staff appears to favor Logue slightly, as he was elevated for weeks 2, 3, and 5, showing promise as a young, physical run-stuffer. Phillips, however, brings more veteran experience and interior pass rush ability, having played meaningful snaps in weeks 4, 6, and 8. The front office could easily opt to sign both to the active roster once Oliver is placed on injured reserve. Another name to keep an eye on is Phidarian Mathis, a former second-round pick who joined Buffalo's practice squad earlier this season. While Mathis hasn't seen significant playing time, appearing only once, in Week 5, he provides insurance depth and could be activated if the team feels it needs an extra body for rotation. Still, he remains a third option behind Logue and Phillips in the current depth chart hierarchy. The injury to Oliver not only impacts the Bills' defensive interior but could also alter the way defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier approaches his game plans. Without their Pro Bowl caliber tackle, the Bills lose a reliable interior pass rush presence who often commanded double teams, freeing up edge defenders to make plays. Replacing that kind of impact will be a challenge. Buffalo may be forced to rely more heavily on blitzes from linebackers or safeties, potentially exposing their secondary, which is already battling its own share of injuries. General Manager Brandon Beane now faces some difficult roster decisions. When Oliver is officially placed on injured reserve, the team will have 2 open roster spots. That could lead to multiple internal promotions or even a low-cost free agent signing to add depth before the next matchup. While signing both Logue and Phillips makes logical sense in the short term, Beane has never been afraid to look outside the organization for immediate help, especially with the team sitting firmly in playoff contention. The timing of Oliver's injury couldn't be worse. The Bills' upcoming stretch includes several tough matchups against physical offensive lines, where interior strength will be key to stopping the run and keeping quarterbacks uncomfortable. The team's defense has already weathered losses at linebacker and in the secondary, and losing Oliver now stretches the unit's depth to its breaking point. Still, there is cautious optimism inside the locker room. Players and coaches have consistently praised the next-man-up mentality that's defined the Bills under head coach Sean McDermott. If the front office can quickly address the lack of healthy defensive tackles, Buffalo should remain competitive. But make no mistake, this latest injury is a gut punch for a team that has already absorbed too many this season. As the Bills prepare for another crucial week of football, all eyes will be on the medical reports and the front office's next moves. The win over Carolina was a statement on the scoreboard, but it came at a heavy price. For Buffalo, the challenge now shifts from dominating opponents to surviving the war of attrition that defines every NFL season. And for a team chasing Super Bowl dreams, every roster decision from this point forward will carry enormous weight. Comment on what you think the Bills should do with Ed Oliver's absence. Thanks for watching and see you next time.